everybody, and welcome to episode 15 of Racing with the Reverend. I am Reverend Bogey. Today we are at Le Mans, one of the most iconic circuits in the world and home of the world's greatest endurance race, the 24 Hour of Le Mans. We are starting in position 11. We did not qualify, and we are again in the Honda Civic, running hard tires. This will be 7 laps, so it's going to be about a 32-minute race. Forgive me for that, but I do love my long races, and these are fun. So, sorry about that, dude. Didn't mean to whack you. Didn't mean to whack you either, Johnny. I see Johnny in a lot of my lobbies, and in a lot of them he does not complete it, so I don't know why. Oh, there's a bump from Risky Card. Oh, that wasn't nice. And it sends us back to 20th. A couple other cars go off the track. Now we're going to head down the famed Mulsanne Straight. And we are moving. These guys have really bad exits. So bad that I accidentally bumped real Devlin there. Wow, I came up on him like he was parked. Parched Monk is ahead of us. We're in the draft, and now it's Professor Kantholz. We'll pass Professor Kantholz. And heading down into the first chicane, and taking it way wide and braking way late and screwing everything up. And luckily, we got no penalty. And we got another great run on Devlin, even though Devlin was able to take that corner cleanly, and I was all over the place. Devlin is right up next to us as we head toward the second chicane. Pagani has just been passed by Professor Kantholz. Looks to be a battle going on up front. Bisha is leading 9.7 seconds. The Honda is not the fastest car on this track. The Hyundai is really good here, and usually I use that, but I decided not to this one. Don't know why yet. We're sitting back here in 17th, 6 places back. We kind of backed off because there is a group in front of us, and I want to see if they're going to start making mistakes or not. As we head to the end of Mulsanne and into the Mulsanne corner. And again, we get a great run out. We're going to go around Devlin, this time without hitting him. I thought that was nice. And we're going to catch up to Brutai here, Brutus OG. And go around Brutus. Got a little bump there for some reason. Trying to get around Brutus. The bump slowed us down a little. Now we're going to run Pagani, but we're 3 wide on the straight. Which means, yes, Brutus puts us in the gravel. Thank you, Brutus. I thank you profusely, spamming the thanks button. I don't know if Brutus got a penalty or not. But we go through Indianapolis, we're out of there, and now we're going to start heading to the back end of the course. Yeah. Another one, and a man like Dubru took us out, got no penalty. Don't know why guys don't get penalties on that, and other guys do, I don't know. Man like Duru got no penalty. We're back to 18th. The 19th place car is 5 seconds behind us in Walterino. There are still, it looks like, 19 cars, at least 19 cars running. As we're heading into the Porsche curves now. Coming toward the end of lap 1. This one we can kind of lift. That's basically all I do there is lift and goes through. I think I get a much much better exit, and as you can see on the time we're picking up on Duru, it was a really good exit. Let's see what happens here. Is Duru protects the inside for some reason when I'm not even going after him yet. But I will be as he cuts the corner there and puts himself in the gravel. Ah, sandcastles. Who doesn't like building sandcastles? They're so awesome. Well, we finished lap 1 and we're probably in one piece. And now we're going to risky car as we head out of the first series of corners under the Dunlop Bridge and heading toward Mulsanne again. We're obviously going to run a much faster lap because we were bounced all over the place there. This here is a nice little third gear complex. Foot goes down, fourth gear here. We are gaining on risky card as he goes and overshoots the corner and picks up 3/10. And we are moving down the Mulsanne straight. Oh, here comes some network stuff. This has been a thing lately. I don't know if it's my network or if it's the servers. It's probably my network. I run a mesh, and it's not awesome sometimes. I had to do a lot of work to get it to work correctly. And, oh, thank you for the bump there, risky card. At least he didn't get me coming out of the corner. That was nice. And I get I get a half a second for cutting the track, and I'm not sure where I actually cut the track. But, you know, what are you going to do? 14th place now, heading down Mulsanne. For those of you who don't know, this used to be full straight from the time you started it. These chicanes did not exist about 30 years ago, probably a little less than 30 years ago. They had to kind of put them in. It was a safety issue for sure. The Group C cars, or what you would call the LMDH class today, but Group C didn't have hybrid. They were just really, really fast. Group C and GTP. They could go about 255 to 260 down the Mulsanne straight. And the problem with that is when you blew a tire as we go around Soleil, when you blew a tire, you didn't know it until you decelerated from a Mulsanne corner. And when you hit your brakes, suddenly the pressure dropped because now your tire doesn't have any, your tire's not running near as hot, the pressure isn't there. Once you hit your brake, you were gone. And there was wall, Soleil over, missed his braking point there, I think. You were in that wall, or you were flipping, spinning, you were crashing either way. It didn't matter. So back in the 1990s, they added those chicanes, and the speeds obviously dropped. It's much safer now than it was. I know this game has it without the chicanes, and I have taken the prototypes on it, and it looks as scary as it sounds. I know the Mazda 787 was hitting close to 260 on that straightaway. But like I said, you blew a tire, you didn't know it until you decelerated for the Mulsanne corner. So, it was a safety issue. They had to do it. Lots of people have died on this track. Several from flipping over on Mulsanne. So it just had to happen. And, it just became one of the more unsafe races, and now it's extremely safe. They are hyper safety focused on this track now. And it's a good thing. These guys that drive here are the best in the world. And you can't have them going out and taking that risk. Niki Lauda once famously said, you know, anything more than a 20% risk and I'm done. And these guys back then were taking, it was, you know, maybe a 40% chance, 35-40% chance that you were going to, one, crash, two, get severely injured, and or three, gone. And I know that's kind of over dramatic maybe, but that was the case before they put in the chicanes. Now it's a much safer racetrack. It's still a fun race. It's a fun race to watch. Black puts on a great show there. It's just a lot of fun as we pass Bocato to get into the top 10. We broke a little early for the chicane. Bocato really didn't leave us a lot of room, and that's just the way it is. Oh, Brutus didn't get a penalty for wrecking us on lap 1 either. Oh, okay. For bumping us off the track at Indianapolis, he got no penalty. Excellent. All right, well, we're on lap 3 now. We've basically forgotten that. I would love to get a clean lap in, by the way, on these hard tires, just to see what I can get. Dragon is in our draft, but he's going to hopefully back off. Yes. There was nowhere for him to pass there, so good on you, Dragon, for backing off before the second chicane. We are gaining on Brutus, so it may be a while, but we're gaining on him. Dragon is now out of our draft as we head toward the Mulsanne corner, and we hit that at about 152. The brakes come on, whack the binders, coast in, roll through, and get out. And we made up some time on Brutus while doing that, and we're pulled a little bit from Dragon. Checking the tires real quick, it's lap 3. We're not going to stretch these by any imagination at all, because it's such a long lap. You're running over 8 miles on a lap. It's so long. When your tires flip over the minor, you are going to be on severe before you get to Indianapolis, or right here, or maybe to the Porsche curves. You're going to be on severe, and it's going to be almost impossible to go through those at speed. So sometimes you have to use discretion as the better part of. Now we're heading toward the Porsche curves. We've shaved a second off of Brutus from the second chicane to here. He is a little faster on the top end, but I do have the better handling car. So I'm gaining on Brutus through these parts, but he's pulling away from me when we've got a long straight. So I've got to get some work to do to get up to his draft. But we're going to get there. By cracky. As we shave another 3/10 off. Ooh, almost got off the track there, had to lift. That was close. That almost wasn't smart. Now we're heading into the last of the chicanes. Third gear here. I could probably take that a little faster. Second gear here. That's about as fast as you can take that without putting yourself in the gravel. And we're not going to run a fast lap there. And now we're into lap 4. And we are still gaining on Brutus. We've pulled away from Dragon. I would really like to shave another second off of Brutus this lap. We'll see. I broke way too early there. So that cost us some time. But it looks like Brutus ran a little wide. So now we've gained some time back. Now we're down to 2.5 seconds. As we start heading through the corners going over toward Mulsanne. I like saying sang. Just sent some France. All right, so we're through, and now we're going down the straightaway. We slightly went off track there, no penalty. Brutus is 2.2 seconds up, so we shaved a second since the start of this lap off of Brutus. I don't know if his tires are going bad or if I'm just happen to be making up time in parts that I can. But we're down to 2 seconds. He finally got a penalty. I guess 10.10 is cutting the track and getting a time gain. So he probably cut the track somewhere, and now he cut the track a lot. He completely missed the first chicane. And no penalty. All right. But we gained another second, and we are definitely going faster than him through the second portion of the straight. So we've got this thing. We're going up. We should catch him. I don't know. Like I've said before, this is the first time I'm watching. That's what I do on my videos. I don't have a script. All I know is I've put in the cuts where they are, pit stops and shortening up the cutscenes. So I know where I finished. I know when I pitted, but I haven't really watched the reps. So me seeing this and talking about it is the same thing as you seeing it and having to listen to me. So congratulations. Now we're down to 4/10. Now make it 3. And Brutus, I'm going to kind of show him a little bit, but I'm going to brake a little earlier. He broke way early. We're going to get underneath in the Mulsanne corner. And now we are in the 9th place. We've been in the top 10, but now we are ensconced. And we're behind Itachi. I think that's Hart Jaw in first. I race with that person a lot, and I can't keep up. I think it's probably a tune skill, probably both. Forza Tune Pro, which is what I use to tune my cars. Brutus gets me again at Indianapolis. Come on, Brutus, I'm not your wall. Forza Tune Pro doesn't give you like the game-breaking tunes. I know a lot of guys run those. And you can get those obviously if you end up with a team or in a league. I don't care for either team or league. If someone asks me to join, after a game, I might, but I won't change my name. I've been Reverend Bogey since the PlayStation 4 came out. So before that, there was another, but I'm Reverend Bogey. So I'm not changing my name and adding their stuff on it, because that's just, I can use their, if they have their team liveries, I can use that on the car. So here I am, I'm on this team. All right, so now we're heading into our pit stop, because that was our intention, was 4 laps and pit no matter what condition the tires were in. We are 0.4 of a second behind Brutus as we hit it, and this pit road is long and arduous. It's like Laguna Seca and Daytona. It just takes forever. Medium tires, we don't need fuel. If you're enjoying the video, please like and subscribe. You can comment down below. Please keep the comments clean, and please stay on subject. All right, that's my disclaimer, and now we're off. I don't know what happened to Brutus as we came out of the pits, but I got ahead of him. I don't know if he selected the wrong gear after coming out of the pits, or if he forgot to hit his gas pedal. Probably the latter. So we are going to pull away from Brutus and start working on Itachi. Yeah, there's a lot of enemies. Aliens and UFOs is in the lead at this point, but has not pitted. So that should be happening soon. Probably after this lap. The hard tires can go 5, so I probably could have gone 5, but it's not worth the time loss that you're going to get at the end of this lap. And it's a pretty big time loss considering how long the lap is and how fast this track is. If you can't make exits, then you're going to lose a ton of time. I know it looks like I brake really early there, and I probably do, but I set up, again with the Forza Tune app available on the Android and iPhone stores, I set it up to have some oversteer so I can get rid of the understeer. So sometimes when I'm braking into these chicanes on this track, and it happens at the bus stop on Daytona also, the back end is really twitchy and it just swings out for no reason. So I brake a little earlier than necessary, but it allows me, one, to get slowed down enough so when I do release off, I'm not going to have to worry about the oversteer. And two, I can still roll through the corner at a pretty good rate of speed. And I'm not losing a lot of time doing it. And if I am losing time, I'm picking it back up in other parts of the track where I don't want to be. So we're heading at the end of Mulsanne. Remember, this used to be one big straightaway. And this is just a little kink. Brakes. And we get the second roll through and gas out. And we're picking up a little incremental time on Itachi here and there. We're picking up incremental time on our leader, Aliens and UFOs. Brutus is losing time. I believe we're done with Brutus for the day. He may have gone back on hard tires also, which would have been a mistake. Unless he just abuses the hell out of his tires. But I think going to two hards here. I almost cracked 160 going into Indianapolis here. Through White House and Indianapolis anyway, and now we're going into this corner, whose name I don't know. And we're heading to the Porsche corners. We're still picking up small bits of time on Itachi, and Art Jean has just taken the lead back, so we won't be picking up time on Arjan. I will continually lose time. And it's, again, probably a skill/tune issue. This is about as twitchy as I want this car to be, because it just, like I said, it will snap. I mean, sometimes you can tell the back end is coming out when I'm braking just for the Porsche corners. Kind of catch it a little bit, so, and that just slows you down. I can make the back end less twitchy, but then I start getting understeer, and the idea is to not have as much understeer as you normally would in a front drive car. So now we're coming down to the end of lap chicanes. These used to not exist either, by the way. Again, safety. And there used to be no pit wall. Way back in the day, there used to be no pit walls. So those were always fun. So we picked up a couple of positions. Aliens and UFOs is pitted and dropped from probably 2nd to 8th. So well, now Brutus is back in 8th, so he lost at least 7 positions. We're kind of holding steady with Itachi, and I don't think we can make up 4.5 seconds in 2 laps. He would have to be running soft tires at this point, and the soft tires will go out after 2 laps. And I guarantee you he's not running soft tires. But now Gabri has taken the lead from Arjan. Gabri we raced also. A lot of these drivers I've been around, Itachi, Gabri, Arjan. I get in lobbies with them a lot. It's great. They're clean drivers. They're fast, but I know that if I get to them, I'm not going to get run off the track. I trust them and their driving. So I don't have a problem with these guys. We're gaining and losing to Itachi, which can be kind of irritating But we have picked up some time as we check the tires. I didn't see the numbers. If you did, comment down below. Because I didn't see them. We're on lap 6, obviously, heading down Mulsanne, going to the second chicane. We'll get through this in relatively quick fashion. Itachi looks like he got a better run out of the corner than I did. He sure did. Arjan and Gabri are just having a nice little battle 30 seconds ahead. Wish I was up there with them. But Brutus and another person conspired against that. No, Mr. Reverend Bogey, you will not be on the podium this race. We will not. All right, now we're starting to make some headway on that fast lap thing. As you can see, we're about 1.8 seconds up on that 430 that we ran, the unclean 430 that we ran. So I'm hoping this is our clean lap. You know, I could go off the track. I hope not. We'll see what happens here. Itachi, we're getting up there again as we head into Indianapolis. There's Indianapolis. Hi guys. I'd love to go to this race once. This and the 24 hours at the ring, and the 24 hours at the ring is this weekend. Thank you, Max Verstappen, for selling that place out. By the way, I'd love to be at either one of these. You know, I'd love to do the big 24-hour races, Spa, this, Nürburgring, and Daytona. Daytona obviously would be the easiest, and my wife and I have talked about doing that possibly next year. Because we could go down there, you can stay in Orlando, it's only an hour away. It's, you know, or, you know, you can stay in Daytona, whatever. But we'd like to go down there and watch them. And if they go back to old speed weeks and we can get enough time off, we could go down there and do that and the Daytona 500. That would be extremely expensive, but it would be fun at the same time. So here we go into the chicanes for the second to last time. We have a great lap time coming up here. At least great for me on this track. I'm not super fast here. 4:26.9. I'm happy with that. That was 3.2 seconds faster than our fastest lap on hard tires. Hartshaw and Gabri look like they're still battling, and Gabri cut the track. Itachi, we've made up some time, but it's not going to be enough. We've left Brutus in the dust. I don't remember who the other person was that hit us. And that's what I try and do is forget things. But I remember Brutus because I gave him room and he knocked us off. So boo-hoo on him. Boo, I said. So we're getting a good run out of the corner onto Mulsanne. We are picking up some time on Itachi. So I either got a better time on that or his tires are going away or he made a mistake. It could be many things, but we are picking up some time heading down to the first chicane, or Rensselaer as it says, I think, when you're in practice. I can't remember, and I don't speak French except the most. And say man the title. I said the title! Okay. All right, so I'm getting a little silly because this has been a long race, and we're almost to the end of it, I swear. We're less than 3 minutes away from finishing this race. And for the most part, it's been pretty good. I do like running at Le Mans. It's not like any other race course in the world. Obviously, Berlin is And the thing is crazy, crazy, crazy. And one of these days I am going to put a Nordschleife video because I've driven it and I want to share that with you. Just the stories that I have coming out of that. But that was the first time I ever raced in closed circuit, and that's pretty scary running that car. I may even do it in the car that I ran the ring. So look forward to that. As soon as we get back to the medium and long races, I'll start looking for the ring, the green hell, whatever you want to call it. But we'll start looking for that. But we're heading into Indianapolis for one last time. Itachi is right behind somebody. Is that the 5th place car there? I can't tell if that's a 5th place or if that's a lap. But Itachi is on it. And obviously that battle is slowing him down because we just made up a ton of time coming out of the Indianapolis area and heading toward Porsche corners. Risky Card cut the track. Oh, it was Risky Card. That's the only person that is. But I don't know where Risky Card is right now. As we head into the Porsche curves, you can see the back end stepped out a little bit there as I broke. That is how I set the car up. I want that back end to be a little loose. That probably didn't sound right. Kids, don't repeat that. Gabri cut the corner again. Brutus cut a corner. Hart Jean has won. Congratulations, Hart Jean. We just went off the track. We didn't get a penalty, which is very rare for that corner. But good we didn't get the penalty. So this will be our fast lap, but it won't count. As we head through the chicane one last time, tires buck over to Minor. We're going to go to the pit wall. SAS party just got passed, so we're going to clap. And I'm happy with 7th.
Well done. P7.
See, she said it. So thanks for joining me. Here's our little celebration video here at the end. If you like it, like and subscribe.